YouTube. Well, this vlog is for Mayor Adam West. Some of you may know him as Vitaly Deuterium. That's like something you'd use to make a dangerous weapon. We are in his old stomping ground. Now at this point we have a slight continuity error. Start of your nostalgia tour. Remember these pubs, the Eldon? Hackhorse. And two more for you. The original oak. And the sky rack. And there we have the old three horseshoes. Woody's up there a bit, but we need to go this way. Oh, bad news to you. It's called the Fisherman's Wife now. What happened to Brian's? Fisherman's Wife, whatever next. I'll tell you what, Vitaly, the roads haven't improved in 20 years. And this here is a place called Boddington Hall. They used to come and be a bit of a tow rag, although it does look like they're having a bit of work done because the university sold it a couple of yees ago, and I'm not going to try and get down there. What we may do is go and shimmy around the back and see if there's anything to be seen from the rear entrance. So back in a minute. You can see some of it nestling in the trees there. That there's the pavilion, which I never went into. Oh, it looks like they've knocked some of it down. Those houses there are new. Used to be part of the hall. There was a big ugly 60s building there, because the hall was built in 1961, well, between 1961 and 1963, and named after a chap called Sir Nathan Boddington, who was the first Vice-Chancellor of Leeds University. Chancellor being some royal dignitary. Couldn't tell you who it was at that point. I've forgotten who it is now. Yeah, they're definitely building in there. Yeah, they've built that into a housing estate. Let's go and have a look if we can. Lots of 60s buildings, and the architect got some award for it. Boddington Manor? The architect got some award for it. And I'm sure at the 60s it was pretty cutting edge, but it was a bit of a design strain. People moved in already. I can imagine, being at this top end of Leeds, that these properties now aren't that cheap. I used to live in the building that was sort of, there's one here and there's one just further down the corner. I lived in the one in the corner. We're going back 20 years now. Yeah, it was the furthest hall residence in the university. It was one of the, I think it was the largest hall residence in Europe. It could take 1,200-ish people. They did add some more modern looking flats back in the early 90s, which were self-catering, whereas the hall itself was catered. These speed bumps never used to be here. So yes, Vitaly D, that is your old Boddington Hall, now Boddington Manor. And definitely no skips to go rummaging in at the end of term. So now go and look for something else from Vitaly's youth. Alright, so we pick up where the previous visit failed. It's another jump in continuity. So here we are, Vitaly's church. Have a look. Crocuses and daffodils coming up. I did read up on this church, and a lot of it has gone out of my head. It was built in the 11th or 12th century. Little bell tower up top there. That was added in the mid-1800s. Also, they didn't want to have any bells back in Norman times. Very pretty church. Notice in Yorkshire, a lot of these buildings, you've got the dark patches on the stone. That's because of all the industry that used to be in the area. It would look the more sort of yellow tan colour like this. It costs a fortune for sandblasting. Yeah, very small windows. I don't know why. I'm sure that would have been the verger's cottage. Tombstone from 1813. Now these are the main stained glass windows. It's a shame it's not open, the church. It'd be nice to see all the colours. It's from 1859. Shame they've had to resort to putting plastic over the windows. Presumably that's to stop vandalism. Now, Vitaly, you're saying there was a gate at the bottom. There's a little mound which used to be a medieval fridge. When I was here the other day with the white helmet, I had a wander round, and there's the gate down there, but it appears to end up in somebody's garden now. Down there is I think it's a care home, and the gate down there is over the road. They've got all the trees. Apparently the yew trees used to be here to ward off evil spirits in the superstitious days. Awful lot of daffodils around here. Well, these tombstones seem to be from the 1800s, considering how old the church is. How big the churchyard would have been. 1925. I'm taking the ones with flowers will be relatively recent. I don't think people would necessarily come and mourn people from that long ago. So we'll not go across around these things. Where are you going? 1852. Someone's obviously had that one restored. 1840s. Beautiful little building. I'm sure Suffolk Andy would appreciate it all. The man with all the Suffolk history in the Suffolk churches. I don't know if you get it, there's a little bird box on that tree. Noticing all these little score marks on the flagstones here. These Yorkshire flagstones are worth quite a lot of money. Quite popular for gardens. I presume they've scored them to spoil them, so people want their beautifully flat flagged lawn. When it comes down, there's a spate of thefts from about 15 years ago now. Recent ones. Yeah, so Vitaly, there's a bit of your misspent youth. I'm very sorry about your fish and chip shop not being a fish and chip shop, or not being the same one anymore. I presume they've spoiled it. But maybe Brian's... Maybe they renamed it, or maybe Brian's just moved on. Who knows? And there's the mighty Deauville, in need of a wash again. So yeah. Hope you all enjoyed that. Ride safe everybody, and I'll see you all next time.